Welcome back to Cardigan Bay Fishing Adventures. As the title suggests, we're going to be indexing the plugs today on this Evinrude Etec. The plugs that are recommended are champion plugs. This is in the UK, right there. The ones that I've brought are copper marine spark plugs. The code on these is QC12PEP. That's what is recommended for this engine. As you know with Etecs, you may know, you may not know, the plugs have to be indexed. Can sound really confusing and scary. It doesn't need to be. If you look on the plug, you got the electrode opening right there. What you want to do, in line with that up there, draw a black line, as you can see right there. I will show you closer on the engine, but basically that black line needs to line up with the injector where my finger is, just like that. It needs to be in a 180 degrees line. So you put an imaginary line straight down there. That indexing line needs to be on the line or inside it. If you can get this indexing line to line up bang on with the injector, that is what you want. But as long as it's within 180 degrees, you will be fine. I have already indexed this, I'll be straight with you. I'm not going to do a YouTube live, you know what I mean. It's already been indexed. I've got one plug which will not index. It's miles out. I've tried it in every single cylinder. It will not work. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to buy more plugs, which is ridiculous, really. It's not ideal. So anyway, I have already loosened this top plug. I know this indexes to the top. So what we'll do, we'll put it in, and I'll show you what I mean. When you put spark plugs in, do them with your fingers first. If it's not turning freely like this one, you're cross-threading it. Stop. You do not want to cross-thread the spark plug going in. It should go in pretty much all the way on its own, which this one has. It's stopped there. What I'm going to do is bring you in a bit closer. The next thing I do, I index the socket. So what I'm going to do is put the black line of the socket on the black line of the plug, which is right there, lining up. The torque spec is 20 Newton meters. So you go to 20 first. If it doesn't reach the indexing point, you can turn it up to 40 Newton meters, but do not go any higher than, well, 41 it says, but I'd say 40. So I'm going to turn this slowly now. Right there is actually indexed on the top cylinder. This one indexes roughly around 22 Newton meters ish. So yeah, we are indexed bang on there. But if you look there, that black line is dead in line with the injector where you want it to be, just like that. The next part with the plugs, you want to gap them. I'll show you what I mean now. Got a feeler gauge right there. What you want to do, this is the old spark plug. You want to slide that in between the electrode and the metal. As you can see, that will not go in. These are not gapped correctly. The correct gap is 0.70 millimeters. I think it's actually 0.71, but that's the closest I've got. So it's 0.1 of a mil off, which is not going to affect it. So basically what you want to do, put the gauge in between the electrode and the metal bit at the top. If it doesn't fit, you've got to try and open it a little bit carefully. If it does go in and it's loose, basically tap this on a hard surface like this to close that gap and keep checking it. I got all the gaps right on these plugs before I put them in the engine. So the top's indexed, the bottom's indexed. I'm going to have to buy more spark plugs to get the middle one indexed correctly, which I think is ridiculous really, but there's nothing I can do. With my OCD, I can't have it out of line. They've got to be bang on. The bottom one's indexed spot on, and the top one is as well. I'll try and show you quick before my battery dies on the camera, but that's the video done. It's a simple job to do. As you can see right there, that spark plug is torqued up to 40 Newton meters and it's indexed perfectly. The middle one I couldn't index, and the top one is about 22 Newton meters and it's indexed as well. So that's how you gap them properly and you index them properly and get the correct torque specs on them. It's not Newton meters I'm using, so 20 Newton meters first. If it doesn't line up with the indexing the way you want it to, go to 40 Newton meters. Thank you for watching. I hope the video helped you out, and I'll see you in the next one.